Peace towards our trust we're doing well. So with all due respect, we've lost a very notable person, Christian Atsu. Perhaps at this point there isn't much to say. It's already happened. What I feel is that a lot of Ghanaians were in denial when the whole thing happened. You look at a situation with a magnitude like this, where buildings with as many floors as over 10 just slapped to the ground like that, and how a lot of lifeless bodies were taken out of it, and obviously Ghana being a Christian nation where we give everything to God and trust Jesus Christ that He's going to work out miracles. In all the process of denial, we all see on social media, we trust God is going to bring him back. I mean, so many strange reports. People said they had found him, taken him to the hospital, he was recovering, he can't talk. It was even after the whole incident that I got to know he's that notable footballer who was helping to bring a lot of prisoners out and also help them with some capital to start up a new life. So people are saying all sorts of things like he was such a good person doing a lot of charitable work. What happened? Why didn't God save him? Probably, why didn't Allah even remove him before the whole incident? And at one point, I saw somebody write that karma is not real, because if karma was real, there are a lot of bad people already in the system, and they were citing bad presidents, ministers, all these big people that perhaps we think should have been out of the system by now, but are still there. And then young people who are selfless and doing the best for the community get taken away like that. Wow. When we talk of karma, usually when things happen, people just look at the individual and look at all the good things they are doing around them and ask, it is so good. Everybody is seeing all the wonderful things. Why should that take its toll on the person? I did lose my second child, and at that point, I also asked myself so many questions. I lost the child actually at birth. I'm like, God, why me? I was a good person. And I'm that quiet person who hardly had any friends, wouldn't want to disturb people and all that. So I'm like, God, I was good. I hardly disturbed people. I hardly took from people and all that. And then sometimes I was like, yeah, you're a sinner. Anything could have happened to you. Go through all the blame game. I think at one point I even saw a post that said they should blame the Turkish government. How could he have watched for all this to happen? Hey, too many people lost lives in that incident for us to blame anyone. You see videos of children under rubbles. There's one video I saw where it was said a woman was pregnant. So when the whole incident happened, she gave birth, and at that carnage, somehow she lost the life, but they were able to cut the umbilical cord and bring the newborn baby to safety. So in incidents like this, you can't pinpoint anybody in isolation. But back to the issue of karma, somebody asked him what he did wrong. Well, when you take the person himself, he may not have done anything wrong, but there's also collective karma. It's just cause and effect. If I light a match in a place that is flammable, I'm not expecting any positive miracle to happen. Obviously, it's going to be disaster. All the whole incident, realize that a lot of things may have been going on. One particular video I saw, either the night or early dawn before the whole thing would start, all the birds in the vicinity were restless, just chirping, moving up and down. One sign that something was going to happen. But the point is, was there any forewarning? I heard there had been forewarnings that such a thing was going to happen, but probably there's that places that those things were going to happen were not really communicated, so people couldn't have taken precaution. However, some people also came out of the building alive, right? And were even able to run away. So when we talk of collective karma, they are a chain of events, either from one person, group of persons, that all add up to eventually what happens. In one video, I saw some Turkish officials in relation to some of these buildings had been arrested because probably the engineers did not do their work well, the architects and whoever was involved used poor materials. So that is one collective karma. Secondly, in our cultural setting, we have seers, we have necromancers, we have all these spiritual workers that if people are going on the long journeys or travels, we would have done checks, and periodically checks are always done. There's that in and out communication just to make sure the person is doing well wherever they are. There could even be dreams, and usually these things are relayed to people close to the person. So the question is, those that were around the said individual, what were some of the kind of dreams they were having? How were they feeling about the person? What kind of communication was going on? I learned he was a Christian. So his spiritual team, his pastors, what did they see? Well, anyway, when it comes to natural disasters, because obviously we wish people well and we don't want to see good people go that early, a lot of questions come into mind, but somehow it always is what it is, and things would happen some way because in nature's own way, some people need to go just for some messages to be carried out to others. Because, excuse me to say, if he had not been in that quake, we obviously wouldn't have been so bothered. We think, oh, it's a Muslim thing, they are bad people, that is why it just happened to them. But in this case, here's a good person from Ghana who is also Christian. For him, he was just there for his business purposes, and these things happen. And that is why we need to note of collective karmas. Like when I'm doing this video, for as many that will see this video and even take time to listen, it could mean that you and I have some collective karma. Maybe something will fall through your mind and you would want to ask questions in relation to things that have happened around you. It's not just by chance that, like, for me, I'm a Facebook person. I have 4,000 friends, but among them, I'll say probably it's just up to a strict 30 that are very close friends. Some have visited their houses, some have eaten with them, some have gone out with them, maybe some have even had relationships with them. Because collective karma places us in close proximity to each other at particular times, either to perform a certain function or to go through some events that will teach us lessons. And I feel at this point we are in relation with each other because we had to meet in this time. Let me take Ghana for instance. It's a whole Christian nation and just a few are awakening. When I awaken, in my family, there was nobody I could relate to. I didn't really have that many friends to talk to. So Facebook became my rescue, and I'll go there and try to look for friends of like-minded nature. And it wasn't easy from the beginning because I largely had a lot of Christian friends, and trying to wean myself from that wasn't easy. Sometimes I'll just go and type some questions, and me and my Christian friends will have a lot of arguments, heated ones. I'm sitting at home, but I'm angry. And then I have to delete some of them. Some block me, some delete me, on and off. Until eventually I realize if I have one of Christian two friends, I don't even recognize. And I have largely conscious friends with whom I vibe every day. So sometimes when it comes to natural disasters, it's not even about the person per se. It's about the collective. That building wasn't safe in the first place because other buildings were standing in their grounds. It could be that at that particular site where the building was put up, the ground wasn't as strong as the other places. He being a Christian person, what did his spiritual team say? His family, I learned he's a twin. I remember when Ebony died, and people were asking all these questions. Her own mom came up with some superstitious events. She was like, the day before the child will even visit, she felt strong winds. Maybe her sister said she had a dream. So many strange events. And when she visited, she was in a hurry, like she wanted to go somewhere. And it was getting late. And then by morning, they hear the news. So, caution to each one of us. At the end of the day, you still never know what day and time it will be for any one of us. But it's like some deaths are just painful. Recently, I attended the funeral of one woman. She was 95. Her firstborn was well over 70 years with a walking stick. And she had loads of grandchildren. Everybody was in white. It was just beautiful to see the scenario. And people didn't even shed much tears because she lived a life. Her children, her last born, when I saw, she had gray hair. It was like, oh, that's so beautiful. And I believe everybody wants to see their family members and loved ones, especially the good ones, live up to that stage. But, well, it's life. You can never tell. Yes, though, we hope to see things like this. So take care of yourself. Have strong spiritual teams. I don't believe in atheism. See, you can't tell me there's nothing in this world. There's always something that binds us. It's an unseen force, but it's there. That's why we always have our ancestors to guide us. Spiritual team, healers, seers, all those things. Take precaution all the time and trust the universe to lead the way for you. Peace and blessings.